Welcome back to the Witchwood, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be taking a look at the Paladin, Priest, and Rogue cards that have been revealed this far. We start, of course, with a brief reminder of the new keywords. The Echo keyword of repeatable this turn. If you play it, you can keep playing it until the end of your turn, or you run out of mana, whichever comes first. And also Rush, which is can attack minions the turn that it's played. The scaled down charge, that is, in my opinion, far better. And now we begin with the first Paladin card, the Bellringer Sentry. 4 mana 3/4, Battlecry and Death Rattle, put a secret from your deck into the battlefield. So essentially 2 mana worth of card draw and immediately being played. Or, well, 2 mana's worth of cards being played for free, I guess? I don't know. It's hard to start evaluating when you start bringing in extra stuff like that. But on the surface, this is a vanilla 3 mana minion that plays you a secret for free. So there's the 4 mana right there. This is not Mysterious Challenger, though. It is certainly nowhere near the level of bullshit that Mysterious Challenger was, especially not when we don't have things like Avenge anymore. That being said, I think this is going to probably find a home in a lot of decks. Paladins do kind of like their secrets, weirdly enough. And there's plenty of decent Paladin secrets that are even worth it if they're just one-offs. You know, think about this thing playing a free Noble Sacrifice, or a free Redemption, or something like that. Repentance, even? This will find a home. I think this will get played quite a bit. If nothing else, it's just, it's card draw. It rips cards out of your deck and plays them for you, so you get to draw your better cards faster. Kind of nice. Next up, we have the Cathedral Gargoyle, Battlecry. It is a... first off, it is a 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health, Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. I would be a bit more excited about this if it wasn't for the fact that Dragon Paladin hasn't been relevant for some time. Ever since Blackrock Mountain rotated out, Dragon Paladin really hasn't been a thing. I'd love to see it come back, especially if there's a dragon in the Paladin set, or in the Paladin class for this set. But I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not thinking that this is going to be worth anything. Maybe it'll probably just end up being a 2 mana 2/2 most of the time, just because Paladins don't have enough dragons to pull it off. So I'm pretty down on this, but we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be dragons in the upcoming sets that'll make this way more useful. That'd be nice. Next up, we have Rebuke, a 2 mana Paladin spell. Enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. This immediately drew comparisons to Lotheb, back from Curse of Naxxramas, a 5 mana 5/5 whose Battlecry was, well, this spell's effect. This is not Lotheb, and Lotheb, in fact, most of Naxxramas was pretty undercosted for what it did, so... In the end, this is not Lotheb, but I still feel that this spell has some significant use. It can be played just before, say, a Sunkeeper Terram or a level up turn to make sure that your opponent can't remove your board. It can be played in Control Paladin to keep your enemy from being able to blow you out. I think it has uses. I think this will be a very useful spell, and I think there's going to be at least a few Paladin decks that actually really want it. And it helps that it's common. That means you can play 2 of them, unlike Lotheb, which you can only have 1 of. So this I think is going to be very, very appreciated, especially in Dude Paladin, who does kind of want to protect their tiny little 1/1s before they play Sunkeeper Terram, Level Up, Lightfuse Stegodon, all those wonderful cards. Next up, we have the Paladin weapon of the set, the Silver Sword. It's an 8 mana weapon, which makes it just about... Nope. Woe Cleaver and Rune Spear have the exact same mana cost, but this has got 1 more durability on it, so it's slightly better. It's an 8 mana weapon with 3 attack and 4 durability, and after your hero attacks, give your minions +1/+1. I'm not seeing this. You have to already have a board for this to be anything useful, and if you've got a significant board at 8 mana where playing this is going to be an actually good idea, well, why aren't you just winning at that point? Maybe this is what you need to get the final push for your Sunkeeper Terram board to actually be able to destroy your opponent, but the thing is, Fine Cleaver was great on its own because it just gave you extra bodies whenever you swung. This you already need to have bodies on the board. Admittedly, Paladin can do that very easily with their hero power and lots of cheap minions, but I'm just... this just doesn't make me feel happy to play it, you know? Vine Cleaver at least had 4 attack. This I'm not sure about. It might find a home in Dude Paladin, but I'm just... until I actually see it in action, I'm just not satisfied with what I see on the card. We have next up Sound the Bells, the Echo card for Paladin. 2 mana, Echo, give a minion +1/+2. It's repeatable Divine Strength from way back, and I believe Divine Strength got printed in Whispers of the Old Gods, and I always mix it up with Holy Strength, a magic card for 1 white mana that did the exact same thing. This is different though. This allows you to do it multiple times. Sound the bells, make your minions bigger. I like this card. I like, little buffs like this, and repeatable little buffs are pretty dang cool. Just imagine playing this on a board that just got Sunkeeper Terraned last turn. Now you have an army of 4/5s on your hands. That's going to be fun. And even early on, this can be decent if you play it early. You can drop 2 of these on an early minion, and suddenly they're trading with much bigger things. Or they're just doing a ton of damage to your opponent's face. That works too. This I think we'll definitely see a lot of play. Not sure exactly what kind of deck it'll find a home in. Maybe it'll find a home in Dude Paladin. There's plenty of stuff that's rotating. Who knows? Finally, we come to a legendary for Paladin, the Glass Knight. It's a 4 mana 4/3 with Divine Shield, and whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. This, I think people might be rating this a little high, or at least considering, they're considering the big payoff for this, where, you throw this into an opponent's creature, you kill him, you lose the Divine Shield, you do something that gives you a little bit of health back, like, say, True Silver Champion or something, and all of a sudden, hey, it's got Divine Shield again. Realistically, this creature is going to be a 4/3. It's going to have Divine Shield once, and then never again if your opponent is anywhere half awake. They're just going to get rid of the Divine Shield and then blow this thing up so that, it doesn't become a problem. That being said, if you are able to play it and your opponent can't get rid of it, this can get pretty annoying pretty fast, especially if you're able to constantly give it Divine Shield. If you've got the True Silvers, if you've got, hell, even Friendly Bartender would work for this. But I feel like this is going to be a 4/3 for Divine Shield once, more often than not. So in terms of overall, Paladin gets some pretty nice stuff this expansion, legendaries excluded, but let's move on to the Priest. We start with the first Priest legendary, Camellias. It's a 1 mana 1/3, 1/3, 1/1. Why did I say 1/3? I guess I was thinking Northshire Cleric there for a second. Anyway, it's a 1 mana 1/1 beast. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this. This is weird. A lot of people say that, it'll give you information about your opponent's hand, and that's at a premium, but I don't know. I feel like you can maybe predict what your opponent's hand is just from a few cards that they play. At least I'm getting pretty good at telling what might be in my opponent's hand. Maybe it'll be nice to know that your opposing Warlock is packing that Hellfire that you're so worried about, or, they've got their Death Knight in hand maybe, but I don't know. I look forward to the Best of Camellias compilation, and I will probably play it myself just because I do kind of love playing Thief Priest, but we'll see how this is actually good going on. Next up on the Priest list, we have the Coffin Crasher. 6 mana, 6/5. Death Rattle, summon a Death Rattle minion from your hand. By my count, the weakest thing this can hit is Crystalline Oracle, the 1 mana 1/1, get a copy of a card from your opponent's deck. And honestly, if it gets that, a 6 mana 6/5 is perfectly playable. Bone Drake saw plenty of play, honestly. Mostly because it had a pretty sweet Death Rattle itself, and this is a pretty sweet Death Rattle too. You get to play a free Death Rattle. I would be a little sad if this hit my Crystalline Oracle, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I've played those out already, and at this point, it's hitting things like my Bone Drake, as I've already mentioned, even Shallow Gravedigger. I wouldn't be too sad that this hit. I like this all around. Getting a free minion after this getting killed. I mean, Void Caller was played forever until the rotations happened. So hey, this I can see definitely being played, and I like it. Next up, we have the Glitter Moth, which for some reason I thought was Glimmer Moth. It is a 5-mana 4/4 with Battle Cry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, double the health of your other minions. You might immediately be thinking, oh hey, Inner Fire Priest, but remember what it says. It says only odd cost cards. You're not playing Divine Spirit with Glitter Moth. This is your Divine Spirit, basically. But if you are able to play it, get your Glitter Moth off and then Inner Fire, say a 4/24 now, that wouldn't be too bad, would it? That being said, I don't think this is going to be in an Inner Fire Priest. This might be in more of a... Actually, I don't know what kind of Priest this might fall in. The problem with all of these odd and even card cost payoffs is just, well, where do they fit? That's really the big thing. There might have to be just new decks created around these cards. And that's making them really hard to evaluate because we just don't know where they're going to fit yet. That being said, the effect is pretty cool, and I like the whole doubling health. Will make your board incredibly difficult to kill, especially because Priest does tend to have plenty of high health minions. So even without Inner Fire, this can be very annoying to deal with. Next up, we have Holy Water, 5-mana Priest spell, deal 4 damage to a minion. Strange, Priests don't often get direct damage. If that kills it, add a copy of it to your hand. This is interesting. Kill your opponent's big thing and get a copy of it for you to play yourself. Sometimes, it might not help because your opponent's big thing might be, something that only fits with their deck and certainly isn't going to fit with yours. Sunkeeper Terram, I'm looking at you. But even then, it can get things like, say, Void Lord? That'd be nice. That'd be very nice, actually. There's plenty of really cool things that this could hit, and I'm eager to play with it, and just to see just how easily it is for me to kill you with your own cards, which is why I like playing Thief Priest. Moving on, we have another legendary for Priest, the Lady in White, a 6-mana 5/5 with Battle Cry. Cast Inner Fire on every minion in your deck, set attack equal to health. It's got a helpful little reminder there in case you don't know what Inner Fire is, even though you probably lost to it about 10 times last season. This is interesting, very interesting. I'm excited to see how... I just mentioned with Glimmer Moth, or Glitter Moth, I keep calling it Glimmer, but I just mentioned that Priest does have plenty of high health minions, and even without Priest Zone exclusive class cards, imagine this on a Ysera, or anything like that, just anything that has a gigantic disparity between health and attack. Hell, think about the flip cards, even the neutral flip cards that we're getting, where they start with their high health versions. So you can very easily get some annoying things with this. Suddenly you have a 4/4 lifesteal with a Pumpkin Peasant, or we'll see it later on, but an 8/8 with Divine Shield and Rush with the Gilnean Royal Guard. There's some nonsense you can pull off with this thing. And it'll be exciting to see just how much nonsense you can get up to with the Lady in White. Do note that it only happens on minions in your deck. It won't work on minions in your hand. Excuse me. So if you've already drawn your Ysera, well, you're kind of out of luck. Oh, excuse me. Well, as I am succumbing to the Witchwood's poison, we move on to the Vivid Nightmare, which is probably what the Witchwood's poison is going to give me tonight. We have 3 mana, Priest spell. Choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it with 1 health remaining. Interesting effect. Maybe a nice effect. There's plenty of minions and priests that I wouldn't mind getting a second of, and especially with Priest hero power, especially with the possibility of upgrading your hero power if you're running an odds-only deck and you've got Baku. Could be quite interesting to play with this. Just think the possibilities. Double Ysera, which I know I keep going to Ysera, but she's one of my favorites, so hey. So you get a double Ysera, you can have, if we're playing Wild, we can have double Prophet Velen. Plenty of fun things to pull off with Vivid Nightmares, which is Not how they usually go. Nightmares aren't usually fun. So Priest is kind of in a weird spot, and we're not really sure what a lot of them are going to do. Holy Water is kind of probably the only straight good card we've seen here, and the rest are very situational at best. Okay, Coffin Crasher was pretty good too. Let's move on, however, to Rogue, which is going to be my favorite because, man, Rogue got some good cards, but let's go through them and actually see them. We start with a Blinkbox, 3 mana, 3/3 beast. Battle Cry, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. This is very similar in design to Swashbuckler, which was a 1 mana, 1/1 pirate that did the same thing. This is just a slightly more expensive and slightly stronger one that can potentially trade a bit. Swashbuckler could never really trade. It usually just got hero power down depending on the game you were in. This will be interesting to play with because there's plenty of cards in this set that's going to work with Rogue stealing a bunch of stuff and actually being the thieves they should be. But first off, next off, we're gonna move on to the first Echo card that Rogue got, the Cheap Shot. Actually, it wasn't the first Echo card that was revealed, but it's certainly the first Echo alphabetically. 2 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, and it has Echo. Very nice. I love it when Rogue gets controlling tools like this. And it can't go to your opponent's face, which is actually kind of nice. It means no 10 damage to the face from constantly playing Echo, which is kind of nice. It's nice to know that only your minions are going to die from being cheap shotted. I love it. This is a very cheap way to enable combo. Echo, Rogue really kind of wins in Echo, and we'll see why in the next few cards. But this I approve of. I love cheap shot, and I cannot wait to cheap shot an entire enemy board down. Next up, we have the Cursed Castaway. 6 mana, 5/3 with Rush and Death Rattle. Draw a combo card from your deck. So 6 mana, deal 5 damage to an enemy minion, and draw a combo card. This thing's not sticking around, not unless it's not even Tar Creeper. Tar Creeper will kill this thing. Pretty much everything will kill this thing, but you get to remove an enemy minion, and then you get to draw a combo card, which, depending on how much mana you have, you might be able to play right there. Hey, look at that, Eviscerate, let's go. This is nice, I love it. Anything that lets me get specific cards out of my deck is pretty nice, and the fact that this draws combo, which Rogue does really want their combo stuff, is just great. A+ on Cursed Castaway. Thumbs up. I want it. Next, we have the first legendary for Rogue, the Face Collector. I remember when I first started talking about Echo, I wanted to see more of a payoff for playing Echo cards, and this was pretty much the next Echo card revealed, and my god, is the payoff great. 3 mana, 2/2 with Echo and Battle Cry, add a random legendary minion to your hand, which could potentially be it itself because it is a legendary minion, and that would be hilarious. We're talking infinite value here, ladies and gentlemen, but of course that's a very fringe case. It is worth keeping in mind, however, that every time you play this card, you're getting 2 cards into your hand, the random legendary and the Echo card. I'm not sure which applies first. Do you get the Echo card back, or does the Battle Cry happen first? I'd probably rather have the legendary minion than the Echo copy, but hey, this is going to be just fun. This is going to get you some cool legendaries, and a handful of legendaries can just win you the game, as we saw when the Golden Monkey with Elise was the big thing after League of Explorers. So there's that to keep in mind, and just the fact that it's going to be very fun when you pull some awesome legendaries off of this. You might pull some crappy legendaries, you might get Camellias, but hey, that's the risk you play. Next up, we have the reason why Rogue wins in the Echo Wars, Mist Wraith. 4 mana, 3/5. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain +1/+1. A 4 mana, 3/5 is usually fine if it has some sort of keyword. Looking at you, Sen'jin Shieldmaster. But this is going to get out of hand pretty quick because, like I said, Rogue wins in the Echo Wars. They've got the Face Collector, they've got the Cheap Shot, they've got one card that's coming up that we haven't seen yet. This is just going to get out of hand quickly. I really hope your opponent has a Polymorph or a Silence effect, because otherwise they're probably going to be staring down the barrel of, well, let's say you play this on turn 10 and you've got one of the 2 mana Echo cards. They're going to be staring down the barrel of a 4 mana, well, I guess a 10 mana 6/8. And it's just going to get bigger if you keep playing Echo stuff. This is just cool and really rewards Rogues for playing Echo cards. And I already really want to play the Rogue Echo cards because they're already pretty damn good. Speaking of Echo, let's move on to the final Echo card that's been revealed for Rogues so far. Pickpocket. Echo, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class for 2 mana. Again, you get 2 cards back whenever you play this. You get this copy and then the card. I'm really hoping you get the card first before you get the Echo copy, because I'd probably rather have the stolen card, unless I've got Mist Wraith out. And I also have to say, I basically called this card when reveals were still happening. I thought that with Swashbuckler rotating, there would be some sort of spell effect that would do the same thing as Swashbuckler. You know, maybe it'd be 1 mana, and it just wouldn't have the body. But now it's 2 mana, doesn't have anything attached to it, but it is Echo, so... And I even said it's going to be called Pickpocket, so... I kind of love the fact that I, basically got it on the nose there. That being said, I love playing stealing cards. I love stealing from you, so this I'm definitely excited to play with. And again, Rogue just wins in the Echo Wars. Next up, we have something that rewards Rogue for playing Pickpocket, the Spectral Cutlass, a 4-mana 2/2 weapon with lifesteal. Whenever you play a card from another class, gain a durability. Pretty dang sweet, if I have to say so. Definitely doesn't compare to Kingsbane with Leeching Poison, because my god, that's insane. Although, is Leeching Poison going away? I'm not sure. Is that Mean Streets? Because I think Mean Streets is going. I haven't exactly looked into it much, but hey, 4 mana 2 attack, 2 durability, get extra durability whenever you play stuff from another class. Thief Rogue is back on the menu, boys. It might actually be a possibility. Who knows? Might be too random to actually be any good, but it at least sounds like it's playable. Could be quite a bit of fun. Next up, we have another legendary for Rogue, Tess Greymane, 8 mana 6/6 with Battle Cry. Replay every card from another class you've played this game, targets chosen randomly. It's worth noting that it says replay every card. That includes minions. So say if Face Collector manages to get you a few class legendaries and you play them, then you play Tess, you can re-summon those class legendaries because they are technically from another class as long as they're not rogue legendaries. This, it's kind of another Yogg type effect, although actually it's more like Lunara, isn't it? Replay all the buffs onto her. This is just replay every card from another class you've played this game. Minions, I feel, would be a bit more effective with this. Spells, well, there's always the chance that you'll just, blow your own face off like you did with Yogg, but hey, Tess seems like she could be fun, especially if you manage to get some class minions out there. And finally, we have a spell for Rogues, another spell, Wanted. 4 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion. If that kills it, add a coin to your hand. One of the most recent sets in Magic was the Ixalan set, and this reminds me a lot of the Contract Killing card from that set, which was 5 mana, 2 of it had to be black, kill a target creature, get 2 treasures, and treasures in the Ixalan set where you sacrifice them to gain a mana. So it was kind of like, pay 3 mana to do the kill, and pay 2 extra mana to get 2 mana that you can use later. This is kind of like that. It's essentially 4 mana to potentially kill a minion, and if you do kill it, you kind of get a rebate, I guess. Mail-in rebate for a coin. I like this. This is definitely something that I can see using. Rogues do actually kind of like having coins because they have things like the combo minions, or just being able to play a bunch of stuff in a turn. Rogue likes playing a lot of stuff in a turn. Maybe they'll fall victim to rat traps. Who knows? So yeah, Rogue is actually my favorite class this expansion, which is not something I thought I'd ever say in my life. Rogue is getting a ton of cool Echo cards, a ton of cool legendaries, and they're probably getting more stuff that we haven't even seen yet. There might be reveals going on right now, this very moment, that I haven't even seen yet. This all being said, I am so going to play a Rogue deck when the expansion drops. Tess Greymane isn't exactly like a... Face Collector is certainly my day one craft if I don't get him. Tess Greymane might also be on that list as well. Rogue is just killing it this expansion. So that's the Paladin, Priest, and Rogue cards of the expansion. Let me know in the comments what you think. Tell me I'm wrong about Rogue, because I probably am. And we'll be back next time with Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior.